tales of appalling physical by Sean Combs as prosecutors portrayed him as a monster who controlled people and plied them with threats, money.
Prince attempted to alert us, not merely regarding music rights or label disputes, but something significantly more ominous. And now, with Diddy's ongoing trial uncovering the darkest truths within the entertainment realm, the MUB's warnings Prince gave are starting to make undeniable sense.
That said, the companies felt otherwise. Of course, they wouldn't change, because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist. And that's kind of the situation we're in right today. They're not going to exist.
Prince possessed insight concerning these prominent figures in the music business, and what he knew had the potential to completely alter our entire understanding of his passing. Interestingly, it seems Cat Williams may have been the only one who truly paid attention.
Actually understand what kept driving him, you know? Because it just seemed to me like he was never happy.
For years.
For a long time, many assumed Prince was simply fixated on ownership issues. And in part, that's accurate. He devoted many years waging a battle to reclaim his master recordings, cautioning fellow artists about the pitfalls of record label contracts, and granting now iconic interviews where he labeled the music world a form of modern slavery. Yet, in the final phase of his life, Prince's concerns evolved well beyond legal clauses and royalty irregularities. He began highlighting individuals, not just corporations. And one such individual, according to various sources close to him, was Sean "Diddy" Combs. What troubled Prince wasn't just Diddy's widespread success or cultural influence. It was the alliances he was forming, and the ways those partnerships were shifting the very architecture of the entire industry.
They've been a group, everybody knows that. They've been aligned. You stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem.
Sometime around 2015, Diddy appeared to be solidifying his relationships with Warner Music Group, the very entity Prince had long considered a nemesis. This wasn't a mere business rivalry. Warner had once held legal control over every track Prince had ever produced. For years, they denied him autonomy over his own identity, likeness, and musical archive. This is what led him to famously inscribe the word slave on his face and abandon his birth name altogether. So, when Prince observed Diddy discreetly, engaging in business with the very system he had fought so passionately to escape, it didn't just feel like a betrayal, it felt like a genuine threat. According to people close to him, Prince was convinced Diddy was assisting in the construction of a newer, even more dangerous version of that system. One that didn't merely dominate music, but exerted control over individuals using vast wealth, manipulation, and minimal consequences. There's a kind of unraveling happening, a systemic decay we cannot ignore. This is where Cat Williams becomes relevant. In multiple interviews, Cat claimed that Prince had warned him personally about both Diddy and Jay-Z. According to Cat, what Prince had on them wasn't limited to court leverage or industry rivalries. He possessed documentation, visual recordings, names, timelines, information so sensitive that if released, it could annihilate reputations and destroy entire careers overnight. While Cat never stated he had personally reviewed this evidence, his tone was solemn and sincere, far from performative. He painted Prince as a man carrying immense knowledge, one who had grown increasingly suspicious of everyone around him. Cat even alleged that Prince recorded his own private events, not for leisure, but for protection. He wanted to document who entered his home, who was present in the room, and who attempted to manipulate his guests. The narrative runs deeper. Some theories suggest Prince had uncovered a broader scheme, one where artists were lured into exclusive music industry gatherings, only to be covertly filmed and then blackmailed into compliance. While this wasn't an entirely new idea, with Jaguar Wright, Cat Williams, and even Dave Chappelle all alluding to similar tactics, Prince, with his access and means, might have had more than suspicions. He might have had actual proof. Just months after rejecting specific business deals, including a widely rumored offer from Roc Nation seeking full streaming access to his unreleased catalog, Prince was discovered lifeless in an elevator at Paisley Park. His death was officially declared an accidental overdose. Pills laced with fentanyl were discovered in his residence, yet something still doesn't feel right. In his final years, Prince's demeanor changed profoundly. He introduced stringent new security measures at his estate and drastically limited his personal circle. but
concerned me because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
apprehensions extended far beyond mere concerns about his physical well-being. In the weeks leading up to his death, Prince had earnest and serious conversations with trusted confidants about what he saw as perilous elements operating within the industry. He openly discussed high-ranking individuals and the dangerous consequences of defying them. A major focus of his warnings centered on controversial practices, such as elite gatherings where young musicians were coerced into attending in order to progress their careers. These revelations raised significant questions. What exactly drove Prince to heighten his security so drastically? What revelations made him so alarmed about music industry customs? And what did he mean by that final enigmatic warning about his safety? Cat Williams has claimed for years that he has preserved crucial evidence, recordings, documents, and transcripts of private discussions between him and Prince. In a 2022 appearance with Arsenio Hall, Cat revealed how deeply Prince had influenced him. Before comedy, Cat had spent 5 years pursuing a career in rap, inspired by his encounter with Prince at the age of 12. This meeting, which took place in Dayton, Ohio during a Prince tour stop, left a lasting impression. Cat said it felt as though Prince had been a lifelong presence and mentor, someone who helped him build self-assurance. Prince, according to Cat, was the reason behind his confidence and unique flair. True to Cat Williams' storytelling style, he depicted Prince as an elevated thinker, someone perpetually ahead of the cultural curve. While the world recognized Prince as a musical savant, Cat emphasized how Prince encouraged him to embrace his individuality. Prince's message, as remembered by Cat, was simple but powerful. You can be short, light-skinned, with long hair, and as long as the women adore you, it doesn't matter what others think.
He was a high thinker and a guy that was always 30 steps ahead of whatever the curve was.
Fans have started to connect the dots between Cat's statements about Prince being perpetually steps ahead and the cryptic remarks Prince made before his passing. Theories are now emerging suggesting that perhaps Cat was given insight into information Prince held, something deeply disturbing, possibly a plot to eliminate him. Prince was known for delivering cryptic messages, and many now believe he may have entrusted Cat with significant revelations. Allegedly, Prince held intricate and disturbing details about the inner workings of these industry events, details that made him increasingly determined to protect younger artists. These warnings gained further relevance as federal inquiries began investigating allegations involving sex trafficking and organized racketeering at elite industry functions. Prince's alerts carried substantial credibility because of his inside knowledge of Diddy's personal and business dealings. While the precise details remain confidential, the breadth of what Prince knew made him a considerable risk to influential figures in the entertainment world. This burden may have led to his growing isolation in his final years. After Prince's death, Diddy issued a public statement expressing heartbreak. However, Cat Williams criticized it heavily, pointing out the numerous ways Diddy's actions contradicted Prince's interests throughout their careers. This inconsistency between public sympathy and behind-the-scenes behavior underscored the deeply rooted problems within the music industry's hierarchy. The tension between Prince and Diddy symbolized the larger divide between creative autonomy and corporate dominance, a collapse occurring that needs serious attention. Prince's repeated criticism of Diddy's business maneuvers shed light on unsettling realities of the entertainment landscape, particularly exclusive parties where young creatives were placed in vulnerable positions. These secretive events were key to understanding Prince's efforts to protect others from the dangers he saw festering within the industry. It's important that we, as a cultural community, confront these issues and recognize their consequences. While the industry elite hosted exploitative events targeting young talents, Prince countered with a series of alternative gatherings he called 3121. These events served as sanctuaries, creative spaces for artists to escape the toxic undercurrents of fame. What occurred behind those closed doors reflected a sharp contrast. Creativity thrived without fear of exploitation. The 3121 events were private, invitation-only spaces that welcomed artists seeking genuine connection and artistic exploration. They offered safety, authenticity, and artistic freedom, far removed from the coercion and manipulation present elsewhere. Meanwhile, the infamous freak-off parties, particularly those tied to Diddy, operated on a far more sinister level, Young artists often faced immense pressure to engage in illegal acts, with drugs and sexual coercion being disturbingly common. While these actions were largely hidden in the past, recent legal proceedings involving Diddy have brought disturbing truths to light. The indictments revealed not just the presence of violence, but deliberate threats and psychological manipulation used to trap individuals into participation. For many artists, attendance at these events felt compulsory, as if their careers hinged on it. In stark contrast, Prince's 3121 served as a refuge, a bold alternative that directly challenged an exploitative system. According to Cat Williams, this act of rebellion made Prince a direct threat to powerful players. As stories from 3121 attendees began to emerge, the sinister elements of the industry's underbelly became harder to ignore. Prince was masterful at transforming simple lines into iconic, unforgettable phrases. His awareness of these disturbing events, paired with his unmatched independence and global influence, rendered him a serious threat to those maintaining control over the industry. He actively used his platform to alert younger musicians about the risks they might face at certain gatherings. Now, as Diddy confronts serious federal accusations, ranging from coercion to leveraging private recordings to manipulate others, Prince's warnings seem eerily prophetic. The narrative of Prince's passing is no longer just about one man. It represents two clashing worlds within the music industry, one powered by secrecy, exploitation, and control, and the other, which Prince fought for, grounded in integrity, freedom, and artistic ownership. When Prince insisted on retaining rights to his identity, music, and events, he angered powerful individuals. His refusal to surrender his archive or permit specific parties to gain access made him increasingly isolated. And once he began speaking out, he became a liability. The counterfeit pills, the unaccounted-for video recordings, the swiftly closed investigation, the sealed legal records. All these details suggest that Prince's story is far from over. As Diddy's trial continues to uncover disturbing revelations, fans are beginning to understand Prince wasn't delusional, he was ready. His message may have been silenced temporarily, but with Diddy's truths now surfacing, people are finally listening. Prince left behind more than just music. He left behind a legacy, a coded warning, and a path to truth that's only now coming into focus.